let's be honest. A lot of people go to church because it was just something that was imbibed into them. They just grew up with it. You just grew up, they forced you to go to church. You're now forcing yourself to go to church. I enjoyed Sunday school so much. When I was studying CRS in secondary school, I was using Sunday school stories to pass my CRS. So I enjoyed going to Sunday school. But later on, I now started questioning, okay, what is my role in this place? Why am I here? Hi guys, welcome to Shared Chapters on Bodgepod.com. My name is Kimia Andrew and I'm super happy to be here as per usual. So yeah, you know how it is. Here on Shared Chapters, I let you in on my life, let you in on my story, what's been going on with me, how I'm faring. Yes, you guys are like my Dear Diary session. Letting you just know what's going on with me and hoping that from my stories you can learn and not make the same mistakes that I did. Or I do, or I'm making. I mean, we are human, right? We are all human. Anyway, so last Sunday, hey God, my mother should hear this episode. Last Sunday, I went to church for the first time in a bit. Now, not because I don't, when I say I went to church, I mean like I went to physical church after a while. And it's not because of I'm anti-church or anything. If you love Jesus, you cannot be anti-church. Let's be honest, right? If you love Jesus, you will love his church because the church is his bride. And for a while, I was playing with the idea that I might be a deconstructionist. I was just playing with the idea because a lot of reasons, the reason why I was finding it really hard to go to physical church was because I had gotten, disillusioned with the routine, with the religious routine. Like a lot of the time, because we speak a certain way, church people speak a certain way, whether I like it or not, we do speak a certain way. And I had gotten to the place where I'm like, you could hear some people talk and it's just routine for them. They're just saying it out of routine. And I had experienced such genuinity with the small group that I was going for Bible study, and I really wanted to experience that when I go to church on Sundays, and I wasn't getting that, and I was disillusioned. So I wasn't like a deconstructionist per se. I wasn't deconstructing the church. I wasn't deconstructing the Bible. I was studying my Bible. I am studying my Bible. I study my Bible. I have conversations with friends. We discuss the word, and it's been amazing. And I think because I have that going, somehow I became, I don't know if it's prideful, I would say. I actually don't know if it's prideful, I would say. But somehow I began to look down in a way. Like, I was like, you know that thing where when you know certain things, you now start saying, this thing you're doing is not right. This thing you're doing is not right. And you forget that you're dealing with other human beings, and other human beings would perceive the word in a different way. So for me, it was that. I had gotten to the place where I would be like, when somebody says something, I'll be like, but that's not how it is. I'll be like, but that's not what the word says. You know, that kind of thing. And yes, it's not particularly wrong, but it now started making me get very disillusioned with church, with the church activities and all of those things. And I had when I moved to Abuja and I started attending my new church, I had already decided that I wasn't going to just become a church worker. I had to, it's not everybody has to become a church worker, number one. And number two, I had to get to the place where I was comfortable in myself, and I believe that was like something that God was literally telling me to do. Not like somebody was guilt-tripping me to do it. You know, that kind of thing that would be like, you need to join, that kind of thing. I didn't want that to be my reason for going to join a church group. So there was that. There was the fact that I wasn't going to join a church group, just straight up. And the other side where I was experiencing the word in such a vivid manner that it started becoming like, okay, if I can experience the word in such a vivid manner here, like going to Bible study and studying the word on my own, and then I'll go to church and I somehow feel like I'm not getting it, why go? right? Like that was what was going on in my head. And for a long time, I would just stream. I would just stream the service online, enjoy the service online, dance in my room. It was convenient for me because I kind of have workaholic tendencies. I am a workaholic. Let me not even stretch it. I'm actually a workaholic. And so sometimes it's because I would stress myself a lot during the week. And I'm like, okay, Sunday, I can just stream service, right? And to be honest, it worked for a while, but I started craving fellowship. I wanted fellowship. I really needed fellowship. I could feel my spirit craving to be around more people, to be around a community of believers, because you cannot, God did not make us islands. If He did, we would all be living on islands. We would all be like Ego in Guardians of the Galaxy. You know Ego, right? If you watch Marvel stuff, whatever. Okay, so if we were all like that, even Ego had like a huge ass ego. So imagine if all of us were like that. We all think that the world revolved around us because we were the world. But anyway, God made us to dwell together. He made us to have, He wanted us, He made us with the intention of having us for community, and He wants us to commune with each other. So for me to decide that, okay, I'm just taking a break, I had my reasons. And to be honest, I do not regret taking that break. I needed to take that break. I needed to pull myself away, sit down with myself, develop my personal relationship with God, understand who I was in Him. That was my journey. It might not be every other person's journey, but it was my journey. And I needed to go through that journey of, okay, I need to know why I'm even going to church in the first place. I needed to have that conversation with myself. And I know that a lot of people are like, why would you say that? Let's be honest. A lot of people go to church because it was just something that was imbibed into them. They just grew up with it. You just grew up, they forced you to go to church. You're now forcing yourself to go to church. Sorry, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing, to be honest. And for me, because I wasn't even forced to go to church. To be honest, I enjoyed going to Sunday school. Oh my goodness. I enjoyed Sunday school so much. When I was studying CRS in secondary school, I was using Sunday school stories to pass my CRS. So I enjoyed going to Sunday school. But later on, I now started questioning, okay, what is my role in this place? Why am I here? My church in Jos, I actually I started working as a church worker, and I was working in the teenagers church. I loved it because I wished that I had somebody that understood the word and could relate to it, could make me relate to it in like somebody that would tell me the truth, like how it is. They understand where I'm coming from. They understand what I'm going through. And they understand that I have all of these emotions and hormones flowing through my body. They understand that I'm a human being. And then they would tell me the word in that context. That's what I would have hoped to have as a teenager. I didn't really have that. And so when I had the opportunity to work in church, I decided I wanted to give what I didn't get. And it was amazing for me for the few times that I was there. But the other part was I felt drained. I needed somewhere to be tapping from. I didn't know then that what I needed was to actually go into the word myself. And so when I did that, when I started doing that, I now had to pull myself away from the routine, from the church routine, so that I can purge myself of that mindset. And then I can now decide what role I actually want to play in church. It's not just about going to church. It's about what do you want to gain from it. Yes, I know that sounds selfish, but let's be honest, right? What do you want to get from it? And also, what do you want to give? And for me, I had to pray about this. I had to be like, God, I need community. You've already stopped me from going to a particular place, which He actually did. He actually stopped me from going to a particular place that I was going to. I fought it. I was like, God, but they are talking about your word. Why won't you let me go? You know that kind of thing, and I'd be like, but God, you know that kind of thing that you meet somebody, you're like, this person is good now. Then the Holy Spirit's like, nah, fam, don't go there. And you're like, but I don't understand. And then you now forget that the Holy Spirit that is telling you is the person that knows that person. No? You forget that part. So I fought with it for a while that He was telling me not to go back to where I was fellowshipping. And when I came to the realization that, okay, see, He's told you not to go, don't go. I settled in it. I sat down with it. And it's been a journey of letting the Holy Spirit teach me His word and me understanding it. Now, I'm not saying that I understand it perfectly, but I have this walking relationship with him, and I'm going to keep walking in it. But I really had that desire to be in a church family. And so I prayed about it for a while. For months, in fact. I thought about other churches to go to. I looked at my options. I had preachers in Abuja that I actually was listening to. And I was like, okay, why don't I go to these people's church? And when I had this conversation with a friend, it wasn't even like a conversation. We didn't even have a conversation. It was just the way he was. Just the way that he was. Just the way he carried himself. And the church he goes to, actually, I'm a huge fan of their pastor. I love the way their pastor laughs. I don't know, I just love the way their pastor tells his stories. He tells the story with all of his heart, and he's in it. And when we had that conversation with him, I don't know, something just lit a fire in me. And I was like, hey, go back to your church. Just go back there. And throughout that week, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to church. I'm going to make sure that I go to church because I have something in me that I want to share with my church community. I don't know how I'm going to share it, but I know that this thing that I have, this my teaching, this fashion teaching that I'm doing, I would love to give part of it to my community. And I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. I haven't figured it out yet. So I'm just telling you the plans, but I don't know how it's going to come to fruition. And I don't know how I'm going to put myself into a proper community in church yet. I'm just I'm taking it slow. I'm just taking my time. Not taking my time taking my time, but I'm taking it slow. I'm taking it one Sunday at a time, one Wednesday at a time, that kind of thing. And I'll see where I can put myself in first. I love Bible study groups. Because that's where you get to meet people at their most open, most transparent. If somebody is not being transparent, it's easy to perceive that because you're in a very closed up space. And I'm planning on doing that. I'm planning on getting into this small, those small groups. We have small church groups that we usually do. They're cells. So I'm planning on doing that and then see where that goes. So yeah, I'm just telling you basically what my plans are for the next couple of months. Hopefully, I'll come back and give you an update. But yeah, I'm not a deconstructionist. I found out that I was not a deconstructionist. I just needed to take a step away from the routine and get to do church for what it should be, for God and for the community and also for me, and not just because somebody said I should go to church, right? So yeah, do you think you're a deconstructionist? Do you think you have that tendency of being a deconstructionist? Are you also somebody that's been struggling with going to church? Why? Let me know in the comments. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Always look forward to hearing from you guys. And yeah, see you next week. Bye.